Shots fired. DeSantis versus Trump. I've explained in the preceding video about how these two are going to be slugging it out. And of course, whilst Mr. DeSantis has been somewhat coy about a presidential run, there's plenty of speculation about it. Back in 2021, he called such speculation purely manufactured. And during a September 30th, 2021 appearance on Fox News, he stated that he would run for re-election as governor in 2022, but wasn't thinking beyond that. Then, in November 2021, he filed to run for re-election as governor, and then announced thereafter that he had done so. Since 2022, he has increasingly been seen as a contender for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. At a straw poll, which was conducted at the 2022 Conservative Political Action Conference for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, DeSantis came in second, 28% of the vote, considerably behind Donald Trump, who received 59%. However, following that, his situation has improved, according to some writers, as a consequence of the fact that he was viewed as preferable to Trump in view of the January the 6th hearings and subsequent straw polls that followed from that. The idea that he might have a run as president gained more traction after the 2022 United States midterm elections, when DeSantis was re-elected governor by almost 20 percentage points over the Democratic nominee, Charlie Crist, while Trump-endorsed candidates performed generally poorly. This has increased speculation, and indeed, he has been fighting back against criticism about himself by Donald Trump with his own advertisements. The advertisement that Trump's campaign had paid for criticized DeSantis with regard to him putting his dirty pudding fingers where they weren't wanted. This, of course, being a direct attack upon him and smearing him to the decision-makers that would have a hand in deciding who is the Republican nominee, is a direct threat to his control. And naturally, his own narcissism needs to nullify it. You're not going to get a burst of ignited fury in the way that you would see Donald Trump being aggressive and issuing, "You're a disgrace, that's fake news." DeSantis is more polished, commensurate with an individual that had been in the forces, and of course, as somebody that attended university. Furthermore, an individual that at that earlier stages in his life, that he attended Yale studying history, and then he went to Harvard Law School. All of this adds to the type of narcissist that he is in terms of the way that he functions with polish. But he's not, of course, going to be slow about fighting back against Donald Trump. Whilst Trump's advertisement was very much a case of criticizing him for the way that he purportedly eats, and then linking that in the minds of voters to the things that he's dabbled in and stuck his dirty pudding fingers into, quite the image. Instead, there's an alternative approach that's adopted by DeSantis, which is more in keeping with his style of narcissism. The advertisement that ran from his supporters began by explaining that Democrats are attacking Donald Trump, so why is he spending millions attacking the Republican governor of Florida, attempting to smear Donald Trump as suggesting that he's traitorous, that he's turning on one of his own, that he's under attack from Democrats. Why not turn around and fight against them? Why not turn around and criticize them? Why are you criticizing one of your own? This is an attempt to suggest, of course, in the mind of the relevant voters, that Donald Trump might be afraid of Mr. DeSantis because he's a real candidate. Believe me, Donald Trump isn't. He would be dismissive of any such suggestion. But DeSantis' team want to create that idea amongst voters that Donald Trump has something to worry about, and that he sees that DeSantis is gaining in popularity, that he's seen as a cleaner candidate, which of course may well be something of an oxymoron when it comes to anybody involved in politics. And thus the attempt is to smear Donald Trump by saying he's a traitor. Look, he's attacking one of his own. It goes on to state that Trump's stealing pages from the Biden-Pelosi playbook, and therefore there's an attempt to associate, by smearing Donald Trump further, that he is linked with President Biden and Nancy Pelosi, who, of course, for most Republicans, represent disliked, perhaps even hated political figures. And to suggest to them that Trump is behaving similar to those individuals is an attempt to discount him and suggest he's not somebody that you can rely upon. They then follow up by saying that he repeats lies about Social Security. And what is interesting about the advertisements, both of them, it relies upon triple alliteration. I've explained in other materials that the human brain is designed to sit up and take notice of things that take place in threes. Nobody knows why this is, but research that's been undertaken demonstrates that human beings pay greater attention to things in threes. So, for example, a survey that was done of Hansard, which records speeches in the British Parliament, noted that speeches where people use triple alliteration, big bouncing bombs, received more awareness, recall, and recognition than somebody just saying big bombs. Double alliteration wasn't as effective. And I have utilized this technique in some of the materials that I've created for you to help you deal with narcissists. But that's an aside. The point is here that both campaigns are evidently aware of the power of the triple effect. Trump utilized it in his advertisement, and it's being utilized by Santis here as part of the smearing. Smear 1. Why is Trump attacking one of his own? Smear 2. He's stealing pages from the Biden-Pelosi playbook. He's basically siding with the enemy. And 3, he's telling lies about Social Security. Can you trust this man is the suggestion. And then it follows up with, here's the truth from Governor Ron DeSantis, who basically says we're not going to mess with Social Security. Well, that's all right then. It then advises that Trump should fight Democrats and not lie about Governor DeSantis. It's attempting to show that DeSantis is a reliable man, that it caters to his facade of, you can trust me, I'm good at what I do, and I'm honest and I'm dependable, which is part of his upper mid-range facade. Upper mid-rangers invariably utilize a facade of superiority. With DeSantis, his superiority rests on, I'm better than the other candidates, but also I'm better in the sense that I'm more reliable, trustworthy, and a man of my word. I'm not Mr. Pudding Fingers, and the point is, I don't behave like him over there, who attacks me unnecessarily, follows the Pelosi-Biden playbook, and is a liar. Accordingly, we see an interesting difference in the style of these attacks as both candidates fire shots across one another. As it continues, we will see repeated instances of when these two narcissists collide, and it'll be interesting to see how they both continue to try and seek to persuade others to come under their control while seeking to nullify the attacks that will continue from one another. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.